Okay, so we're back, I guess you could say. This is part two of the unboxing for the Federated States of America Armored Battle Group. So the Federated States of America Armored Battle Group. You see, Federated States of America Armored Battle Group. There it is. Right, pretty. I like it. Fantastic artwork. As you can see, bright blue color scheme for the Armored Battle Group. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this. Usually I'm a fan of studio color schemes, but this looks like Ultramarines or like Troll Bloods. I mean, it's, you know, when I see Cerulean now, as I know that those are going to be, you know, our heroes. Hopefully that's not going to turn out to be the case with this. Nice art. It's full color. You can see all the way around. Now the back here. This is interesting. We've got some more. We've got some new artwork. There's some new artwork right up there. We've got. Does it actually describe who it is? No, but I'm assuming that it is a you know, a land ship, marine or engineer or something who's got some engineering tools, things like that. Over here we've got predominantly displayed the Spartan Games logo, and then we've this is nice. We've got the schematic actual size of each of the 10 small tank tokens, the bombards here, the medium tanks, and then the land ship. One land ship comes with one land ship, and I mean, I ordered this off the internet. But if you were just, you know, picking this up and you saw the actual size schematics, I mean, I am pleasantly surprised. If I had actually picked this up and I saw that the land ship, which is, it looks like the smallest, this looks like the smallest of the land ships for the 4 primary factions. I mean, I would be pretty blown away. That's a large. You can see that. You can see that. That's a large land ship right there. That's a big one. I was hoping that the medium tanks would be at least the size of say Russ's or something, Lehman Russ in Epic Armageddon. They're larger. It looks like the bombards are essentially larger too. The land ship is big. The land ship, I don't even know a good size comparison. I mean, I'll show you the size comparison in a close cam in a little while. But so I mean, it's a pretty hefty piece of material. And then the small tank tokens. I initially thought that the small tank tokens were going to be about the size of the tiny flyer tokens, which I'm really not that impressed with. But I'll get into that in the other review. They're larger. They're almost twice the size of the tiny flyer tokens, so they're large. Okay, enough prattling on. Gonna go ahead, unbox it. Huzzah again, right? This is just truly was a day of days for models being delivered. Okay, so lots of goodies in here. We get the standard. If you get a battle group, you get your standard token sheets. There's the turning token sheets, and then we've got damaged derelict mines prizes. Right, you get these basically with all the armored, or not just the armored, excuse me, with all of the battle groups that Spartan Games puts out for Dystopian Wars. It's always good to have more exploding templates, I guess. So I'll just go ahead, set these aside. We'll tuck into the rest of it. Here's the figs. I got into figs last time, so I'll spare you guys. Here's the figs. We got a fig for each one of the the type of ship in here. I'm sure that you're tired of hearing me talk. I'm not going to get into the Mars right here. And then we've got the Washington class land ship. It's a battleship, right? It's a battleship on land. It's got a DR of 6, a CR of 8, which it's not fantastic. Movement value of 7. It's pretty good. Hull points 7. 7 hull points. So critical rating of 8, 7 hull points. So it could take a little bit of damage if you get in close there. 7 assault points. So I mean, you could use it almost as an assault point delivery system if you wanted to. You get in there with your, you got at range band 1, you've got 11 attack dice from its main turrets. That's both, it has turrets fore and aft. So each one of those is rocking 11, right? And then you've got your port and starboard broadsides, secondary weapon. Range band 1 is 7 attack dice. This is what got me liking the Federated States of America. They're not beat sticks by any means, but they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty straight ahead. Large class is the land ship, and then the Trentons and the Yorktowns are mediums, and then the Pioneers are small. Okay, so enough about the figs. Let's actually talk about the figs, right? You take it out. We'll just go ahead and dump it out here. You can see what's in there. There's more. Okay, so that's everything. Box empty. Throw that down. Then we have this nice, satisfying, amount of plastics and resins here. We got the acrylic bases first and foremost. Right off the bat, the acrylic bases. Again, these function exactly like the flight bases, except you go ahead, you put your Trenton, you put your bombards on here, which I guess are your Yorktowns, and you put your Trentons on here. Comes with 6 Trentons and 3 bombards, I believe, 3 Yorktowns. And so those are your bases. I did the exact same thing with the exact same thickness for my Man of War, and I may go ahead and do it for my naval battle group for dystopian wars as well. It's just it's such a nice, simple, elegant way of doing it. I'd like to get my hands on these Spartan games. You want to sell these just in packs of 10 or something for 15 quid? Be all over it, right? And then we've got this. Can you tell what this big base goes to? This is for the land ship. So as you can see, this is biggin', right? I'm very pleased to find how large the models are for the land forces. So I'll start with the little tokens first. Comes in a bag here, and you see a little bit of flash. It's snowing. A little bit of the flash falling off there from the tokens, and you see how much bigger these small tokens are than the tiny tokens. I know that sounds silly, and I'll show you some size comparisons, but really, I mean, these are big. I mean, they're called small, but they're big. They're like the size of a quarter, which is, they're actually bigger than a quarter, I think, which is surprising for just tokens, because they look like tokens. These aren't tokens. These are small models. There's a distinction in the game, right? Then we've got a few little pewter / white metal bits that we got here. These are the primary turrets that we got for the land ship, and then we've got the steam stack right there. I don't know if you kind of see it, the steam stack for the land ship. There is a bit of flashing, right? But we saw this, some of it has, quote unquote, flashing all the way around. We saw some of this when we were, if you've picked up one of the naval battle groups, saw some of this with the naval battle groups with the tiny flyer tokens. Do you know how to deal with this? How to deal with it? Go like this. That's it. Done. We're done. You can clean that up a little bit. You can take a hobby knife to it. You can get some of the edges. Just go ahead. I mean, it's that thin stuff. You can just go ahead and break that off, and essentially we're done. Clean it up a little bit. We've got our tanks. There's your tokens. Just go ahead and set these aside here. A little bit of flash. Keep a hold of some of the small little bits. And so you get, looks like 10 tokens, 10 small models. Pretty much, it's nice. They're frigates. You get something similar in the battle group, so it's okay. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the bombards. The bombards actually aren't small class models, as you might expect, but rather a medium class. They have this indirect fire kind of rules, and these bombards are a little different than other bombards in that. Set down that wrapper aside, and that they're actually the rockets, right? Everybody who's played Dystopian Wars knows FSA equals rockets. And rockets can be quite devastating, especially when you use some of your Fogs of War cards. And so there's your bombards, right, with them big meaty racks of rockets across the top. You see there's the tracks. I'm not going to break up these bases quite yet. We'll do that when we get into the close cam. But you can see some of the sizes, just setting them on the bases of how big they are next to my thumb. Each one of them is the size of a Land Raider and Epic Armageddon. So I mean, they're substantial models. Casting quality, superb. Absolutely amazing. Tiny little bit of flashing that I'm starting to notice across the bottom, but it is it's essentially nothing. Again, guys at Spartan, model creation and production and quality control, cheers, right? So go ahead, we've got another one of these little baggies that was kind of wrapped up there. We're going to unload that, and we're going to get our Trenton. We're going to get our Trenton tanks. Again, these are small, or not small, they're medium class models. They're essentially, well, they're like light frigates. They're like, or not frigates, excuse me, they're like light cruisers, and you see all of them. These are big, right? These are I mean, you know, this is supposed to be micro armor at naval scale, micro armor at 2mm. These are big. They're nice, and they're well detailed. You can see the designs of the wooden planks. You can see every rivet. You could even see, I see there's a little hatch on the side that has a ladder leading up to it. I mean, the quality is amazing. The size, again, is, geez, I guess you would say the size is satisfying. And again, here's what they look like all lined up on the tray. And we can go ahead and we can just, you know, put all of our vehicles on there. And so there are your medium class land models that you get. Each battle group that Spartan does for Dystopian War, it has one of those. Has essentially the same models, and so they're quite lovely. Now, what I'm sure we've all been waiting for, the biggin', right?